in the hallway with an individual, the guidelines are the same. And so he gives 8 specific tips on connecting with people while talking with them. He says, first, connect with yourself. You must know who you are and have confidence in yourself if you desire to connect with others. Take care of yourself first. Gain that confidence. Second, communicate with openness and sincerity. Legendary NFL coach Bill Walsh said the following: "Nothing is more effective than sincere, accurate praise, and nothing is more lame than a cookie-cutter compliment." Third, know your audience. Learn people's names, find out about their histories, about their dreams. Speak to what they care about. If you guys have been through the New Star University videos, you know we talk about the 4 buying personalities. And that entire training, if you could boil it down to one specific principle, it would simply be that. Speak to people how they want to be spoken to, not necessarily how you want to speak to them. Be aware of your audience, cater your communication to them. Super, super important in sales. Fourth, live your message. Practice what you preach. That's where your credibility comes from. Dan Clark, you guys have all heard Dan Clark, right? Carlos, you've been to a couple events that he's been at. But the guy's in the Public Speaking Hall of Fame. He was mentored by Zig Ziglar. He's got a lot of awesome stories. He's a phenomenal public speaker. But one of the things that he says in every single public speech that he gives, he says, be the same person in private that you are on the stage. He said, the reason why my messages are powerful, and he doesn't say this to boast, he says it to impress a principle on his audience's minds. He said, the reason my messages are powerful, because what I preach is what I practice. And so try to align what you're saying out loud with what you're actually doing in private. Make sure those are congruent, lined up, and it'll add ability and validity to what you're saying. Fifth, go to where they are. Go to where your audience is. I dislike any kind of barrier to communication. I adapt to others. I don't expect them to adapt to me, okay? And so this can be taken on several different levels. Go to where they are. Can literally be taken on a physical level, all right? If I'm talking to grandma, you know, she's 5'2", slouched down, and she's hard of hearing, I'm probably gonna slouch down a bit and speak a little bit louder, okay? Go where she is. You know, and the same principle applies to going to where they are emotionally, okay? If someone is a bit down or whatnot, I'm probably not gonna shove it in their face and be super positive and abrasive and, you know, outgoing. I'm probably gonna wanna match their personality a bit, okay? And so remember to go to where people are at. The more that you can match, the more they're going to listen to you. You want to mirror the people you're talking with. Focus on them, not yourself. The number one problem of inexperienced speakers and ineffective leaders is that they focus on themselves, okay? We all have a wealth of experience. We all have a ton of things to share. The effectiveness of our message to people is not necessarily what we think is best to say, but it's what they think, what they need to hear, okay? And so be sure to always focus on your audience, focus on the customer, focus on their relevant needs in your personal relationships. Listen more than you're speaking. Focus on what the individual is thinking, what they're going through. And seventh, and this is actually my favorite from this list. I really like this one, so listen up on this one. Number 7, believe in them. It's one thing to communicate to people because you believe you have something of value to say. It's another to communicate with people because you believe they have value. I think there's a quote. It said, great messages aren't necessarily taught, they are caught, okay? People catch that you care about them by your sincerity, by you actually being interested in what's going on in their lives, okay? And so I promise you that your effectiveness as a leader, as a speaker, as a communicator, one of the biggest things that you can do to be a very effective leader is to believe in others, believe that they have value. Communicate that through your sincerity, through your eye contact, through listening to them when they're talking to you. It's huge. And then the last one, number 8, it's offer direction and hope. French General Napoleon Bonaparte said, leaders are dealers in hope. And the thought I have on the last one is, have any of you guys read the book Magic Words? It's in the Audible library that we have for our New Star account. But the book's actually, he's written by a magician. Yeah, an actual magician. It's pretty cool. But he goes through the 7 most powerful and important words in the English language. I heard a few in these trainings, but he said, without doubt, the most powerful word in the English language is the word yes, okay? He shares an experience of Oprah Winfrey when she's at a Tony Robbins seminar. How many of you guys know who Tony Robbins is? We got to get you introduced to Tony Robbins, man. You'll love him.
Who is he, just in general?
So he's a therapist, he's a public speaker, he's a life coach, he's a mentor.
Gotcha.
He's mentored people like Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Phil. Mentors a lot of athletes, but he's a larger than life person. He's amazing. Yeah. As far as like personal development, mentoring coaches, like he's the man. He's the #1 in the world. He's phenomenal.
If you hear his voice, you'd be like, oh, I've heard him before.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Shallow Hal?
Yeah.
With Jack Black in it?
He is in it.
Okay. So he's actually in that movie and he plays himself.
Oh, gotcha.
It's super funny movie, but if you watch that movie, you'll see him.
Gotcha.
Anyways, Tony Robbins, he does this seminar. And at a point in the seminar, he has all the attendees walk across hot coals, okay? Walking on ashes. He basically says that you have to put mind over matter, and if you put mind over matter, you can accomplish anything in life. You can do anything. In fact, you can walk over hot coals and not get injured, okay? And so he's got Oprah Winfrey at one of his seminars, and she's pretty hesitant getting ready to walk over these hot coals, okay? And the entire audience, the entire crowd around her, they start chanting a word. They start chanting, yes, 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 yes. After they chant it several times, she gets the energy, she gets the courage to walk across these hot coals. And she gets across it, she's fine, injury-free. In any case, the psychology behind that is that when we hear the word yes, when we hear that affirmation, there is something that changes in our minds. There's chemicals reacting, fibers in our brains, whatever it is, neurons, there's something that changes, okay? And so this last thought of offering direction and hope, leaders are dealers in hope, leaders are people that have a yes mentality. You know, is this something that we can do? Is this something that we can work out? Absolutely. Absolutely, we're gonna work this out. Customer says, oh, I'm kind of concerned about this. I'm concerned about losing my recordings, you know? I've got 200 hours worth of recordings on my DVR. Hey, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna be able to resolve that issue for you, okay? And so deal in this yes mentality. If you have that, you think positively, you think in terms of yes, man, people are going to be so compelled to you. They're going to be attracted to you. You're going to be a magnet as a leader, okay? And so always try to think in terms of yes. How can I get this done? Be a problem solver, okay? Have you guys heard the famous Einstein quote? It goes something like this. It's negative people have a problem for every solution, okay? Be a positive person. Have a solution for every problem. And then the last thing it says, intentionally connect with the people you lead today, okay? Guys, whether you are a leader in this job at New Star right now or not, I want you to know that you are a leader in your families, and you also are a leader when you are on the doors with your customers, okay? Nate gave it the other day, but selling is essentially leading. That's what it is, okay? You are getting into a customer's home and you're leading them to make a decision, okay? And so, you know, we think of ourselves as salespeople, as convincers, as persuaders. That's great, communicators. But more than that, we are leaders, okay? And there's not a greater way to lead effectively than by connecting with our people, showing them that we care, that we're genuinely concerned about putting them in a better situation. But I want to open it up. You know, what are some thoughts that you guys have? John, you know, you've been married, you got kids. You think there's some truth to this stuff?
No,
Not at all?
Yeah, for sure. Like in correlation with sales, like I feel like there's a lot of views that people would see a sales rep as or a salesperson, and the thing that I love about when you're talking with customers, you determine what they think after you leave. And so when I first started, I was like, oh man, they'll never buy anything from anybody, and that was when I was like, you know, years back. But now it's whether they're like open arms, like letting you in the door, whether they're like closed off, like I'm like, no matter what, this person's gonna be like, this guy was cool, he was interesting, and I listened to him, and it usually will end in a result that, you know, puts money in the bank, but also ends in a yes or a positive. Yeah. And so I've learned a lot through like selling, and I've been able to like use it with my family and stuff. And my wife, she's known me since I've been in high school, so she makes fun of me all the time and says like, I wasn't that convincing in high school and stuff, and but talking to her now, like she was there from the very beginning when I started doing role play. I'd come home and say, all right, say this objection or say this objection, and so for like look back on like how it's affected my life, it's changed like how I do stuff like religiously. It's changed stuff how I do things with my extended family, with my friends, and it's just something that, the thing I love the most about it, I think, is that it's never like, okay, I've made it, I'm here, I feel like I am who I am, and that's like how it is. But I feel like it's something where I'm like, in the future, how else will this positivity, how else will this energy affect more than just the circles that I'm close to? How can I extend it farther and farther? And it feels like it's something that can never really end. So for me, it's principle, that positivity is a principle that like has to be like that guy said, he is what he is everywhere.
Yeah.
And to add to that, it sounded like at first you were a little bit hesitant, oh, I don't know if they're going to buy. But you took that approach where, hey, I need to believe in myself that these people will buy from me. And people will read that off of you, your body language. And, you know, once you take that approach, you notice it made a change for you that, you know, is able to get some deals.
I kind of had a experience yesterday, just kind of like believing in myself or in the customer, like that's gonna buy. This lady like took some work to get into her home, but I finally got in, and then she like, I was only, after my diagnosis, I was only gonna be saving her like $10 a month. She still had 18 months on her thing, so like the $300 wouldn't even cover it, and like I could just like feel myself like not believing, like I wouldn't even take this deal, like this sucks. So like I could feel that negative energy kind of coming out, and like I could feel that she could feel it too. And so like I just like was like, that's like I wanted to get out of it, because I like that it was kind of too late because I wasn't like believing in that sales. So yeah, so that was a negative example. Well, but then like there's other examples too where I've like just been confident, like, oh, like when you get in the door, like I'm a salesperson, and so.
And, you know, like you say, you kind of learn from that, where next time around when something like that happens, you can kind of try to problem solve in your head. Hey, I already had this happen before.
Yeah.
What can I do to